to breaking news today, including the acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker telling reporters just a little while ago he's been fully briefed on the special counsel Robert Mueller's probe. Whitaker says the investigation is now close to being completed. Let's bring in our political and legal experts to discuss all of this. Laura Jarrett, you were there when he was meeting with reporters. Let me play the clip. This is the acting Attorney General, the exchange he had.
You know, I've been fully briefed on the investigation, and I look forward to Director Mueller delivering the final report. And I really am not going to talk about open and ongoing investigation otherwise, but sort of the statements that I made were as a private citizen, only with publicly available information. And I am comfortable that the decisions that were made are going to be reviewed, either through the various means we have. But right now, the investigation is, I think, close to being completed, and I hope that we can get the report from Director Mueller as soon as possible.
We haven't heard much from Whitaker in recent weeks, but now that's a pretty significant statement after being fully briefed by Mueller on the team, the state of the investigation. He says it's now close. He believes it's now close to being completed. That's pretty significant.
Absolutely, it is, Wolf. This is the senior-most official at the Justice Department weighing in for the first time about the timing of the Mueller investigation winding down. As we've been guessing for many months now, when exactly it would end, how it will end. So this is the man who is in charge of the Mueller investigation saying it is close, it's into days here. Now, of course, the question is whether it will even be up to him at all, as the president has nominated someone else, Bill Barr, to be the permanent nominee for Attorney General. If he is confirmed, he will be the one that actually receives Mueller's report. But it is still very significant, Wolf, as you said, for Whitaker to be weighing in as he did in sort of unequivocal terms today for the first time.
Yeah, we don't know, Dana, what he means close to being completed, but it sounds like it's maybe only a few weeks if it's close to being completed.
Right. We don't know, but given how long this has been going on and the fact that he says, as you mentioned and Laura did as well, that he's been briefed, it is absolutely noteworthy. And it is in keeping with what we've heard from lawyers who are involved with clients who are either have been interviewed or in and around this investigation, that the feeling has been that Robert Mueller is just about done, was wrapping up. And certainly our reporting after last week when Roger Stone was indicted, that could be the last major indictment. Could be, never know for sure, but could be the last major indictment before we actually see this report. Then, of course, once the report comes, there are all kinds of questions that Barr, who will be, if he's assuming he's confirmed, the Attorney General overseeing this, who sees the report, how much of it is public, is any of it public, and all of those questions are very, very important, and they don't have answers yet.
And to Dana's point, that's been one of the big questions facing William Barr. The Senate Judiciary Committee is preparing to consider his nomination and expected to hold at least a vote within the panel by February 5th. And one of the issues that Democrats had with his testimony, even as he tried to portray himself as independent and certainly lavish praise on Robert Mueller, is the circumstances under which Barr would be willing to, as Attorney General, make Mueller's report public, and what he would do if the president tried to invoke executive privilege to withhold some of that information from the public. And he didn't really give a clear answer.
No, in fact, I think that was one of the sticking points for people like Mazie Hirono and others who we expect to oppose him. I don't know if Mazie Hirono would have voted for William Barr anyway, but look, I think that this bill, and you talked about it earlier with Dick Blumenthal and Chuck Grassley, is probably the right thing for Donald Trump to want to do if he believes that ultimately the Mueller report is, as he has repeatedly said, it's a witch hunt, it's a hoax. I mean, it's not those things given the charges that we've already seen, as Dana mentioned, Roger Stone just being the latest of Trump's associates. But if you're Donald Trump and you think ultimately you will be fully exonerated, you didn't know anything, there was no attempts at collusion, no attempts at obstruction, you should want Mitch McConnell to be willing to bring this bill up, because that's the key here. And Mitch McConnell controls the Senate floor. If Mitch McConnell doesn't want the bill to come up, the bill's not going to come up. But I think transparency is, if Donald Trump is telling the truth, transparency is his friend here. Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to get the full report made public ultimately, but I do think that would be, for his politics, his best move.